welcome to the online video tutorial series of Advanced Web Programming. I am Dishanjay, Assistant Professor in IT/ICT Department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. So in this video, I will start a unit number 1, replacing CSS and JavaScript. And basically, in detail, I will explain introduction to CSS. So let's understand first what are the topics are covered in your unit number 1. So this is the content of unit number 1. So let's understand whole unit in step by step manner. So in advanced web programming, you already learned the basic of web programming with the help of HTML, CSS, JavaScript in your previous semester. So in this unit, you will learn the basics of CSS in the type of revision, how the JavaScript is working in the context of basics, and the concept of responsive web designing with the help of Bootstrap. So this is the curriculum of your unit number 1. So your first title will be your CSS with the introduction part, how we use CSS in our designing portion. Then after we will learn about the JavaScript introduction, what is JavaScript, why JavaScript is useful in our web programming concept. Then we will learn about the different inbuilt objects of JavaScript. Then I will cover the event handling and error handling concept with the help of JavaScript. In the last, we will learn about the document object model that is used for responsive, or we can say that using that we can interact with our web browser. In last, we will detailed manner we discuss how asynchronous programming is useful in our JavaScript. So asynchronous programming is basically provide the threading concept with the help of JavaScript. In the last, we will learn about the responsive web designing concept, how we can maintain the responsive website, how can we maintain the different views in proper channel. That will be a type of responsive web design. And for that, we will learn one framework. That framework will be your Bootstrap. So let's start with our today's first topic, that is all about the introduction to CSS with the help of basic syntax. So already you learned this topic in your previous semester, but in this curriculum I just give the basic overview how we use CSS in our programming languages. So basically when we are talking about the CSS, it is used for basically designing purpose. So when we are talking about the designing, so which matters here. So for that we have to take care about that when we are talking about the data portion, information portion in our web page. So information is all about your HTML. What the user wants to express itself, that will be a part of HTML. But how that information is presented to that user on your browser, that is the case of your CSS. So the look and feel, how that particular content will be displayed, that will be type of your designing portion, and CSS is help us to provide this designing smoothly. So basically when we are talking about technical part of CSS, so CSS stands for cascading style sheets. So it provides different style sheets to give some structured manner designing. If we want to design 100 pages with proper some syntax, so how can we manage that code in smartly? So that is the task of our CSS. So CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on screen. Instead of writing simple code, if we are presenting that code in some good manner, displaying designing manner, then it is very convenient to user, it is very attractive to the user. The task of CSS is helping us. Also CSS saves a lots of our work in context of time, because we are controlling whole data in the context of writing a code in a smaller piece. If I am writing one CSS, and that CSS can be applied to the all pages of my HTML pages. So CSS is very helpful when we are typing a designing portion. So what are the benefits in context of our theoretical portion? So first is all about the CSS save the times. So when you are writing CSS in one piece of code, and we can reuse that code to the multiple pages, multiple times we can use. So once we write the CSS code and we can use that to the multiple times. So we can say that CSS save the times. Second one is easy maintenance. Suppose we want to change some code, then we don't bother about that because we are writing some CSS code in some specific line of code that will be presented at one place. So if we want to change any code, then we have to go there only. That is your CSS file. So when any update is coming, if you want to change anything in your CSS, then we don't bother about the information part. We only go to the CSS code where we want to change. So it is easy to maintain. Next is it is a global web standards. So when we are talking about the web standards, it comes from the W3C. So HTML is introduced by our W3C. The same way CSS standards are maintained by our World Web Constant. So W3C is maintaining all that context. So whenever the CSS code is updated, all the users that follows the protocols of W3C, it is following that rules. So all over the world, when we are talking about the standards of CSS properties, that will be maintained. So CSS is one standard properties that will be followed by all the designers. And last one is your platform independency. So W3C is already provided that type of standard, and that standards is followed by the developer as well as all the types of web browser. So when we are talking about the look and feel, when we are talking about the complexity, so at that time web browser is main issue. But when we are talking about the standard of W3C, if developer is maintaining the standards of W3C, then we doesn't bother about the how the output will come, because already we maintain the standards, so output is automatically generated. So when we are talking about the CSS script, it is very useful to maintain the designing portion user view to the particular website. Now we are moving to the basic syntax and how the CSS is working in our website. So let's start with our initial portion, CSS syntax. So how can we write any CSS in our HTML page? So you already aware about the standard HTML page. That is our HTML start from our HTML tag, then head portion, in body portion we are writing some text. For example, I'm writing h1 hello. But if I want to apply some CSS, so where should we write CSS and what is the syntax of that CSS? So for that we have to use the syntax structure of our CSS. So for that, this is the example. There will be a one selector is there. Then we have to declaration portion, and we can use multiple declaration portion with the help of property and value. So when we are talking about the CSS syntax, then we have to remember three basic context. One, selector, second, property, and a third, value. So here h1 tag is my selector, property is my color, and value is my blue color. Suppose I want to apply more than one property here, then it will be separated by here semicolon. So in h1 here I am writing color is equal to color is blue and font size will be 12 pixel. So using this syntax we can apply CSS to one h1. So this h1 code will be affected how many times I am writing the h1 code in specific region, that all the places this property and value will be applied. Whenever it matches this particular property with this particular selector, it will be applied automatically. Now we are moving to the specific region where this particular type is writing. So the previous one is already syntax, but in this type you can easily move. Here we have a one key code, that is your paragraph tag. In that paragraph tag we have to assign properties of color and text align. So if you want to apply this particular thing, then we have to write like this. P is my selector here. Now color is my property, red is my value. The same way my property is here text align and value is my center. So this is a syntax of CSS how we can apply this. So how many types we can assign this type of declaration portion? So for that we have to understand types of selectors. So using that selectors, our CSS web engine is choosing which particular element should be developed by our this CSS file. So for that we have to understand different selectors. So basically selectors are categorized into the 5 categories. Let's understand all categories one by one. So first is element selector. So element selector is selects the HTML elements, HTML tag, and from that we are finding some color and values, or we can say that we are providing property and value. For example, what we seen in the previous, that the same example is applied to here. We have one p tag in my HTML file. In my paragraph time, I am writing hello students. Suppose I want to apply CSS on that p paragraph, then how can we write that code? So for that we have to write like this: p text align center and color red. So whenever p tag is written in our code, that will be applied. Second one is id selector. So id selector is uses the id attribute here. So id attribute is nothing but it is provide some specific element in your particular page. So when you want to provide some unique identification for your particular tag, then you can use id selector. So this is my para 1. Para 1 is my text. For that, if I want to provide some unique selector, we can say that then we can use id. So how can we identify this is my id or this is my element? Suppose if you see that some before some text you are assigned to hashtag here. So here id is one name. Before that we have to write which syntax? Has para 1. So has para 1 is my user defined name. So this user defined name is followed by our hash symbol. So hash symbol, then my user defined name, and in that particular block I will write my property and value, and this particular id will be assigned to the HTML tag. Now third is my class selectors. So how can we assign a class? So if class selector is we are using, it selects the HTML element with a specific class attributes. So how can we use the concept of class? So if we are choosing the class, then we have to use here dot symbol first. In id we are using s, where class we are using the dot. After dot we are writing the particular name of your class, and then you can write your property and value. So this is the method how we use the CSS class selector. Now we are moving to the fourth one, that is my universal selector. If we are using the universal selector, then we can use the star concept. Star is providing that whatever the elements is available in my HTML page, all that elements is assigned all these property and value to the CSS values. So for example, in my HTML page, one p tag is there, one h1 tag is there. So or if I want to apply same CSS property and value, then we can use the universal selector. So for that we are using the symbol of star, or we can say that it is asterisk. Next is grouping selector. Suppose if in my HTML tag I have 10 elements, but from that I want to assign 3 elements as a same property value, then we can use grouping selector. So h1, h2, here we have h1, h2 and p. 3 elements are taken, and I want to assign same property value to all these 3 times, then we can group these 3 elements by separated comma. So this is all about the CSS selectors. Now the main question is that whatever I discussed till now, how can I apply in my actual CSS file? The types, what are syntax is there, what are the selector is there, but how to write in my CSS file, that is the question. So this is our next topic, how can we add CSS in my HTML file. So for that we have 3 options: external, internal and inline. So let's understand all these CSS types one by one. So first is all about the external CSS. So when we are talking about the external CSS, this CSS file is different from your HTML file. So whenever you are writing any HTML file, one HTML file is there. But when we want to use CSS in that HTML, in that CSS, if we are using external CSS, then CSS file is different from your HTML file. So when we are using the CSS file, it will be saved by .css extension, and your HTML file will be saved as a .html extension. Now next question, how can we merge both the files? So how HTML file is knowing that this is my CSS code? So for that we have to write some simple syntax. So let's understand what is the syntax of that. Understand, this is my HTML file, HTML. Here in that body I have h1 and p tag. This is my simple HTML file. I want to apply some CSS code in my HTML file. So what I'm doing here, in external file, in external CSS, I'm preparing my CSS file. This is my mystyle.css. So let's understand here, my file will be stored as a .css extension. My style is my file name and .css is CSS extension. Okay. In that I'm writing the CSS properties. So how can we write? This is my element selector. So here my element name is body. In the block I am writing background color is light blue. Now I am writing another element here h1. In h1 my color is gray and margin from left is 20 pixels. So I am applying two elements and here using two elements using element selector. Now how my HTML file is applying this property? So for that we have to write one link reference in my head tag. So whenever you are using external file, you must remember that your link must be in your header section. So before in simple HTML code, the header section is not compulsory. But when you are writing an external CSS, then at that time you must write your external CSS link code in your header section. So what is the syntax for that? We are using the link attribute here, link starting ending. In between we have to use some properties. What are that properties? One is relation and second one is href. So relation is all about the style sheet. So in link we are using one property of that is rel is equal to style sheet, and href is all about the CSS file extension from which we want to make one relation. So in this example our CSS file name is mystyle.css. So using this syntax, my HTML file and CSS file will be linked. So this is a basic example how can we use our external CSS concept in my HTML file. So again I am repeating, first you have to prepare your .css file, then you have to prepare your HTML file. In HTML file, if you want to link your CSS file, then you have to write this syntax. Every time you have to write this syntax, but change is that you have to just change your CSS file every time. Now we are going to the next CSS, that is my internal CSS. So in the previous CSS, what happened? The whole code of CSS will be written in external file. Instead of that, if I want to put my CSS code in my HTML file, then that will be a part of internal CSS. But what happened here? Whole code of my CSS file will be written in which section? Header section. You can see the code of whole CSS will be written in my HTML file. So in HTML file, I am writing here header section. In header section, we have to use code that is my style tag. So style tag is there. In style tag, we have to write here whole CSS property and value. So here h1 element is there. Yes, in that I am providing the color. Color is merge. So the proper code of my CSS is what here? My h1 block. That will be written in my external CSS also. Okay. So h1 code will be written in my which file here? HTML file. So in how can we write? We have to use that code in my header section. Header section we have to compulsory write which tag? Style tag. So in between style tag we can write our CSS code. So here there is no need to link two files, because already we are telling that my file is internally. So that will be interpreted by your browser using your style tag. This is the concept of internal CSS. Now, third one is all about the inline CSS. So what happens, suppose somewhere you need a style in my HTML tag that is up to this particular one line of code. Suppose I need a change of my CSS in only a single line. So for that it is not convenient, I am preparing external file or I am preparing the style tag in my head tag. Instead of that, it is better I will write that code in my the line of HTML code where should I require. So for that we are using inline CSS. So inline CSS, we are writing CSS code, the the line of code of your HTML file in which you require. So for example, this is my H1 tag. In that I required CSS attributes. So what should we write here? So for that you have to write compulsory with syntax style is equal to. Compulsory here one property is that style is equal to. Style is equal to, you have to write the property and value. Here I am using color blue, then separated by text align center. So only this H1 tag is assigning this property color blue and text align center. Next is p tag. Suppose I want to apply some other attribute to my p tag using my inline CSS. So in p tag itself, I'm writing style is equal to color. So this is the case where you want to apply a CSS file attribute the tag itself in the code, line of code. At that case, you are using the inline CSS. So basically, three important types of CSS where should we apply: externally, internally, and inline. So this is the basic idea of applying CSS. The last topic you have to understand about the CSS, very important, CSS box model. Whenever you are learning a designing portion using Bootstrap or CSS, then you must remember where should you put your code, what are the context of that particular design. So for that you must remember CSS box model. So whatever you are displaying your screen, that will be considered as one box. In that you are writing something, you are displaying something, that all will be considered in one boundary. Okay, so understand this type of box model that will help you to improve your designing skills. So whatever you are putting on your screen, what display, that will be your container. In container you are adding, suppose I am adding one button, if I am adding one checkbox, that all things what I am writing, one paragraph, all will be putting in one container. So suppose I am writing one line, then I am writing another line, then after I am putting my images. So how it will be displayed? How one line is separating from another line? From top, what is the what is the distance of my next line? From left, from right, from bottom, that all will be calculated in the context of one box model. So our whole screen will be divided into the four sections: top, bottom, left, and right. Whatever the data is there, that will be put in your content. So suppose I am putting one boundary, one border here. So my data is here in my container, one border is maintained. This is the case of border. So in the border my data will be maintained. So the distance between data and border, suppose this is my data and this is my border, the space between data and border is known as a padding border. So always you have to remember the distance of border and data, that will be known as a padding border. And next, the originally margin will be the particular space between or any top, bottom, left, and right. That will be your for context. From that you can put your container in your screen. So the particular space you want, the place where you want to put, for that content will, your context will be your top, left, right, and bottom. For that you have to maintain margin. So that will be known as a margin. So margin nothing but the space between your border and your any context of top, left, right and bottom. So whenever you want to put your content, then you should remember that where I am putting that. For that your reference will be top, bottom, left and right. So how can you maintain that? With the help of margin. So whatever the space you want, that will be known as a margin. But between the border and container, if you want to put some space, that will be known as a padding. So you should aware about this context, how you can put your data on your screen. So in this video of CSS overview, I briefly explain how we can use CSS, what is the use of CSS, what is the standard, what are the selectors of that. Also, you learn the other properties and values in your previous semester. So this is the basic idea how the CSS use. In next video, I will briefly cover about the remaining topic. Thank you for watching this video.